You know, name, image, and likeness is not really name, image, and likeness.
The NCAA blew it.
The NIL is a joke.
The NCAA has failed. They dropped the ball.
It's going to be the death of college basketball.
NIL is not really what you think it is.
Nowadays, it's pay to play.
Do you feel overwhelmed? Like, there's this player making millions while this player is making nothing at all. And then there's this court case and that court case. And this school in Seattle now has to play this school in New Jersey. New teams and new conferences. New rules, which sometimes makes it feel like there's no rules at all. We wanted to take a step back and take you through some of the biggest changes in college athletics and really see how different things are now. So, are college sports broken? Let's find out.
The 2012 winner of the Heisman Memorial Trophy is Johnny Manziel.
Down to 9 at the 23. Manziel reverses. Manziel with the lane. Manziel down the sideline.
That's Johnny Manziel, also known as Johnny Football. In 2012, he won the Heisman Trophy as a redshirt freshman. The next year, Florida State redshirt freshman Jameis Winston took home the same award. But there was a time where freshmen couldn't even see the field. In football and basketball, freshmen weren't even allowed to compete on varsity until 1971. Now every year we see freshmen lead teams in March Madness runs.
The black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
In front of us to Abdul Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer!
When the NCAA announced that freshmen could play varsity, the decision was met with pushback. Critics warned that they weren't ready, that the pressure of college sports could be too much, and that it might disrupt team dynamics. Just take a look at some of these old news articles. Listen to these coaches. I seriously doubt that many freshmen will earn a starting position at Auburn or anywhere else in the SEC. It's throwing them into the rat race too soon. The emergence of stars like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton at UCLA showed that freshmen could compete at an elite level. Teams got more academic help too. During the 70s and 80s, more major football programs started chartering flights for travel, reducing travel time and allowing student athletes to miss fewer classes. And 1 year later, in 1972, you had Title IX, which opened the door for women to compete. And today, those same athletes are leading programs, breaking records, and redefining college sports. Title IX is a 1972 federal law that bans sex-based discrimination in schools that receive federal funding. It's called Title IX because it's the 9th section of a larger education law, not a court case. In sports, it requires schools to provide equal opportunities for women, including scholarships and teams. The introduction of Title IX fueled debate too. Some questioned whether schools could provide the resources to support them. We're here at the All Sports Museum in Beaver Stadium. Come with me through the museum as we explore Penn State's athletic history. Here's a picture of Coach Paterno in the 1973 Nittany Lions, just 1 year after freshmen were granted eligibility to compete on varsity. Here's a picture of the 1975 Penn State women's basketball team, just 3 years after Title IX. Penn State's history reflects the evolution of college athletics itself.
Today is the first day college student athletes can profit off their name, image, and likeness.
Athletes will be able to profit from their name and their fame.
Start paying athletes directly.
A salary cap for D1 sports.
Today, we're living through another era of transformation. Name, image, and likeness gave athletes the opportunity to make money off of their popularity. In July of 2021, something happened that changed college sports forever. College athletes were at the center of a billion-dollar industry for decades. They filled massive stadiums, brought in huge TV audiences, and became the most memorable faces at their schools. But they weren't allowed to be paid. The system was built on amateurism. Schools gave athletes scholarships instead of paychecks. For a long time, that was enough. But as college budgets ballooned to the billions, college athletes were looking for a cut. Social media turned athletes into big brands. Suddenly, athletes were asked to choose between competing and capitalizing on their own success. This came as a result of judicial action. Cases like O'Bannon versus NCAA challenged the NCAA's use of athletes' name, image, and likeness without compensation, while NCAA versus Alston struck down restrictions on education-related benefits. These two were the major cases that weakened the NCAA's amateurism model. So, in 2021, the NCAA finally changed the rules. Name, image, and likeness meant athletes could be paid for sponsorship deals. In theory, a new era of college athletics might be defined by money, movement, and uncertainty. But are we overreacting? Let's talk the transfer portal. It offers freedom and flexibility. Before, you had to sit out a year before transferring. Now, you could see a player at 4 to 5 different schools in a career without penalty. NIL and new transfer portal rules essentially created an unrestricted free agency in college sports year after year. And if that wasn't enough, say goodbye to the Pac-12. Every 10 years or so, broadcast contracts come up for bidding, where companies like ESPN, NBC, CBS, and new streaming partners like Netflix and Amazon bid for the right to broadcast a conference's games. And that leads to schools leaving one conference to join another for more money. Sound familiar? To some, it's progress. To others, it's chaos. But beyond the headlines and high-profile deals, there's another side of college athletics.
We do also have NIL. We have people that we are in contact with trying to set up some contracts with some of our athletes. But as far as like transfer portal, all this stuff, NCAA related stuff does not really affect us.
Brenna leads the Adaptive Athletics program at Penn State. It's a program where athletes with disabilities can compete for their school in college sports, like sled hockey, track and field, and more.
We've had a couple athletes that have benefited from local restaurants opening up, and so they appeared for them, got a free meal, a little bit of cash, that sort of thing.
Penn State's program started in 1999, but restarted in 2023 after a 3-year hiatus due to COVID-19. But it's not just Penn State. Colleges like Alabama, Washington, Houston, and Michigan are all part of the 19 other universities nationwide that have growing adaptive athletic programs. Beyond the headlines are the athletes themselves. For Penn State student-athlete Ryan Piccirillo, the evolution of college athletics is being experienced in a very different way.
Being a part of this community, it's really been an amazing feeling. I mean, I could never experience this at any other college, any other place. And just being a Penn State student, on top of being an athlete, is just an incredible opportunity. Just not only just give back to the community and to just show the sport that we play.
He says the conversation looks different.
I would say it's definitely shaped me for the greater good. I've come from a spot where, team play has always been important to me, and having that kind of bond, especially as individuals, that we all have some kind of disability, and it kind of shapes us as we grow together.
For him, it's not about headlines.
I would say adaptive athletics really isn't a huge part. It's not very known in the community in college. Just to spread awareness of the sport is really important.
It's about change. Change can create opportunity, a second chance, a new platform. When the system shifts, it opens doors. So what comes next? A 24-team college football playoff? An expanded March Madness? Programs being cut while others on the rise?
I think it depends on what sports you're talking about. Some people like things the way they are, and some people resist change.
Not all change is universally accepted.
So I think depending on who's calling the shots and if they come up with a good plan for whatever sport, it can be a good thing.
And behind that change,
I would say it's always evolving. I always see it growing. I can never see it stopping.
Even in spaces still growing, momentum is building. For all of the doubts, there's opportunity. Athletes gaining financial independence and freedom to move. Voices being heard. Doors opening that were once closed.
Anything can happen in America, the land of opportunity. If they get an agent that sets up a contract with them, of course they have the opportunity to make a lot of money.
That opportunity may not look the same for every athlete.
It's just amazing. I just couldn't put it better. I didn't think that there was this much involvement there is now in college athletics.
Every era of college sports has faced moments like this. Change doesn't break the system, it transforms it.